Nobody predicted that tiny virus can create an havoc and bring down the entire world to the standstill. The economy stopped. Industries, educational institutes, financial services, you name it, nothing seems to be functioning. And there is an impact because of the lockdown. Even educational institute seems to be having a larger impact because of this lockdown. I'm here today at VVCE. My name is Harris. I'm with Professor Sadashiva Gowda to discuss the impact of this lockdown on educational system.
Thank you, Mr. Harris.
The announcement of lockdown came as a bigger surprise to all of us. Most importantly, the closure of educational institutions. Do you think the online classes are adequately preparing students to be prepared for examination this academic year? What do you think will be the impact of studies, academics, and exams in this academic year?
Yeah, what you say is right. It came as a big surprise to all of us. We never expected either the students or the teaching fraternity were not prepared for this. The institutions which had enabled digitally have been able to respond to this situation properly. But the institutions that have not prepared for this kind of situations, they have been greatly affected by COVID-19. Let me talk about the teaching learning process during this lockdown period. For example, in my institute, we had initiated digital classes in the year 2017 itself. As a result, we were able to move seamlessly from the classroom teaching, that is face-to-face teaching, to the online teaching mode almost seamlessly. But there are many institutes, they were not prepared. But they had to resort to other modes of online platforms. It could be, Google or Zoom. There are many platforms that are readily available. They have been able to implement this. But the problem is, students were not used to it. They were not used to learning online. Particularly, there are subjects in engineering like design subjects, mathematics, which are problem-based subjects. They cannot be taught online. There are some students who are fast learners, they are able to manage. But what about slow learners? And also, what about the students who live in rural areas? They have internet problem. As a result, even we live stream some classes, they are not able to, listen to those lectures. So there are problems due to COVID-19, which has affected the teaching learning process, significantly. However, in our institute, we were able to manage this situation. We were able to reach almost 80% of our students, and the classes are going on quite effectively. But the result of which will be known only after we conduct examinations. Because right now we don't know how much learning is happening amongst the student community. But this will be revealed once we conduct examinations. Now, coming to the examination, the other point you mentioned about the examinations. Yeah, regarding examinations, UGC has sent out guidelines how we can conduct the examination. They have given multiple plans, plan A, plan B, plan C. But as of now, it is likely that we are going to conduct examinations for the final year students first, and followed by third year students, followed by second year students and the first year students. So at a time only one batch will be on the campus, thereby we will be in a position to maintain social distancing. And I know that this is going to prolong the duration of the examination, but there is no other alternative as on today. So hopefully we will be able to overcome this situation very soon by the end of this month, that is May. And in the month of June, we will be able to conduct the final year examinations followed by the lower semesters examinations. If such a thing happens, it will be good. But before we do that, we need to conduct a couple of weeks of classes where we should be able to help out students who have not understood, who are not able to, listen to the online classes. Also, that if we are able to do that, I think we are going to help out our student community because they are in greater distress, because they are also worried about what would happen with respect to examinations, vertical promotions. All those issues are there. We empathize with them. We are certain that we will be able to address all their issues properly by the end of this month. I think things will happen properly in the month of June, hopefully if the situation improves. Otherwise, we need to have other plans, maybe plan B, plan C, such that students are not affected due to COVID-19. Thank you.
I'm a division director for one of the leading leadership NGO, where people will have to pay a certain amount to learn communication and leadership aspects by being there in the classroom kind of a setup. Now, from last 1.5 months, all these interactions and learnings are happening online. When there was a question of renewal, there was this apprehension from the participant. Why do I have to pay so much when I'm not coming to the classroom? Because you are saving refreshment costs, travel costs, classroom costs. Don't you pass on that benefit to me? Now my question is, don't you think even your students are likely to ask this question? What's your answers?
Yeah, it is a very pertinent question. But my view on this is different. Look, institutions so far used to have classes in their regular classrooms, and the faculty would prepare only for the classrooms. But you see the scenario now, faculty need to teach in the classrooms and also online. So they need to spend extra amount of money, time to cater to both the modes of teaching and learning. So don't you think that involves investment? We need to create digital infrastructure. Digital infrastructure cannot be created at a very low cost because the quality will be low. You need to invest heavily. You need to invest on the physical infrastructure. You also need to invest on digital infrastructure. In fact, the cost per student that is going to be invested by the institute will increase. Not only that, they need to hire more number of faculty to cater to both the modes of teaching learning process. So I don't think the cost is going to go down. But this apprehension, concern of the students need to be addressed by the institute properly by educating them that how investment is increasing on the institute to provide both the modes of learning. I think then they will not be asking this kind of questions to the institutes. I hope I have answered your question.
You are right, sir. When you said, institutes required to upgrade themselves by adopting and using this technology. To do that, they will incur an additional cost, which may be more than what we are actually thinking. Very nice. Thank you for explaining to us that one. My last question is, it looks like students and parents too, they are stressed in this situation. They are all worried what's going to happen to them and to their future. What is your advice to students and their parents and to your teachers?
Yeah, it is true that parents, students, everyone is stressed. There is no doubt about it. Because COVID-19 has brought about an unprecedented situation which has affected all of us. But we should overcome, we should stay positive, because there are certain things that are not in our control. When they are not in our control, by just creating internal stress, I don't think it is going to help any one of us. Now, what we can do in this kind of situation? There are many things we can do sitting at home. There are many online platforms. There are many books, many motivational books. We can go through them so that we can stay positive. We can do yoga, you can do meditation, you can concentrate on your health, expressing your feelings, understanding one another in the family, understanding one another in the society. So far we have neglected some of those things. They had taken a back seat, but today they are all important. So it is going to teach us, as a family, we need to live together harmoniously. I think we can learn many things from this situation. Now, my advice is that just because we are sitting at home, we should not be lazy. I believe that ease is a greater threat to prosperity or progress than the hardship. When you are at ease, if you don't use the time effectively, you will not be able to progress. So use this time for your personality improvement, personality development. Thereby, once the situation improves, you will be able to use those talent, values, whatever the new thing that has happened in you will help you immensely to come out of the situation in the post-COVID-19 situation. See, it is going to get over very soon. We need to be optimistic. But by unnecessarily worrying about this, I don't think it is going to solve our problem. So we need to stay positive, we need to be energetic, we need to be engaged. From morning till evening, we need to be engaged in doing one or other useful work at home. It could be reading, it could be exercise, it could be taking care of yourself, your parents, your brothers, sisters. You should be engaged. Thank you.
I thank Professor Sadashiva, Principal of VVC College, to be amongst us today, sharing his valuable thoughts, insights about what we have to do during this lockdown. What do we have to do during this phase of life when the calamity strikes? There is a way forward. Every calamity will give an advantage for us to survive. Thank you, sir, for letting all of us know how to accept change and to move forward, especially to that larger student community out there who are wondering what's in their store for them. There is a bright future ahead. I'm sure that you are all going to excel and going to make the best in the future. Thank you very much.
Before I close, I would like to thank Aiding Synergy for the noble service you guys are doing in the city of Mysore and the surrounding areas. You are feeding thousands of people every day, risking your own life. That is really amazing service to the humanity. I really appreciate. I hope you will continue